For this video, I am going to talk about my favorite Cubs players and the positions that they played. Other than first base, other than Anthony Rizzo playing first base, two of my favorite players to have ever played first base for the Cubs were Mark Grace and Derek Lee. For third base, other than Chris Bryant, my favorite third baseman was Ramos Ramirez. And my favorite pitcher on the Cubs, it was Arrieta. Arrieta was one of them. Other than him, Kerry Wood was also one of my favorites, but of course I would name him as what could have been, because he was great in his career, but after Tommy John surgery it just tanked, which is common among Tommy John surgery people. One of my favorite left fielders was Moises Alou, and also, actually I should put Ron Santo was also one of my favorites, even though he played before I was ever born, but still, he was good. Other players that I never got to see play but were good were Ernie Banks and Billy Williams. Now Sandberg also was one of the better shortstops other than Castro and Russell. Now I know some people might agree with me on this and some won't. But when teams pick managers, and when Ryan Sandberg was trying to become a manager, some people believed that he was cheated out of the job of managing the Cubs, because that would have been a good thing for him. And I think it would have been good too, because I would love to have seen him in a Cubs uniform managing. And I think he should give managing a try again. And now my favorite catcher on the Cubs currently is Wilson Contreras. There's other catchers that have played for the Cubs, and like Girardi was an okay catcher but wasn't great. But I would give my hats off to Contreras, basically in the aspect of that he's one of the greatest Cubs. That he's one of the so far. Not, I wouldn't say if he's great or not, but he's one of the favorites to watch right now. And now I don't know about Travis Wood though when the Cubs had him, but I think it was kind of stupid that they let him go. And it wasn't the smartest thing, but hell, he was one of the best, what they call hitters for a pitcher that they had, other than Zambrano, who was the hothead. And now I would like to see Almora for the Cubs get more playing time to see how good he can be. Even though Schwarber, like I said, had an off year last year, hopefully he will do better this year in the aspect of getting his batting average up, along with the RBIs. Even though the Cubs signed Yu Darvish, like I said, I don't follow the American League too much, and that's where he's coming from, because he was coming from Texas and from Los Angeles Dodgers, that's a National League team. But I would like to see Yu Darvish do good in the Cubs uniform since they signed him. Now I can't remember what position he played, but Matt Stairs, who played for the Cubs for 1 year, did pretty good for that 1 year he played for them. Also, Rondell White was an okay player playing for them for the year or two he was there. Now the one player that I did hate on the Cubs, because the guy used to talk shit all the time, was Milton Bradley. The guy was a fucking hothead, just like Zambrano, but had a fucking attitude problem. And basically they let him go, which was that was one of the worst signings that I've known the Cubs to ever do, and he wouldn't be the only one. Another great pitcher that had played for I think he played for the Cubs at one time, was Lee Smith. And and he was one of the greatest closers that have played, and I've seen several of them. And that's a lot to say on that one.